Welcome to Adobe Lightroom, and today I'm going to show you how to do HDR inside of the program. So HDR is high dynamic range. And the reason for HDR is there's no way to have this much shadow and highlight detail inside of a single capture in a digital camera. So what you do is over and underexpose your images, put them together, and that will give you this extended tonal range and some amazing detail and vibrancy inside of your photographs. Unfortunately, I don't have anything beautiful like this in my backyard. So what we're going to do is take a look at a very simple photo, and I'm going to show you how to do HDR. So I have this picture on my back porch. It is not an exciting photo, but it is a really good image to explain and show you how HDR works. The first thing you need to understand is what is bracketing. So bracketing is a process in which you under and overexpose an image. So if we see this as a perfectly exposed image, this is 2 stops underexposed, and this is 2 stops overexposed. Now, when you do bracketing, you could do 1 stop over and underexposed, 2 stops, 3 stops, it doesn't matter. You could also do more images. Now, it's always going to be in a series of odd usually. So you're going to have your even exposure. Then you could do -1 and -2 underexposed, +1 and +2 overexposed. The more images, the more detail you're going to get. So the idea here is with this overexposed image, we are going to be able to get more detail in the shadow areas. So if we look at this original image, you'll see we don't have like a lot of detail here in the shadow areas. Now, that doesn't mean that this is wrong. It's just that you want more detail for some reason. Then in the underexposed image, you're going to be able to hold your highlights better, and you're going to get more detail inside of your highlight areas. So by combining all three, you're going to extend the tonal range of the image. So what we're going to do is hit Command A to select all images. We're going to go up to Photo, Photo Merge, HDR. We'll let this render here real quick. Now I've already clicked a couple of items, and I did this just very simply. Normally I would use a tripod when I do HDR. And if you are bracketing and you have a tripod, definitely use that because your images all need to align up. However, if you shoot in a quick burst, you most likely won't get too much movement inside the image, and you can use auto line inside of Lightroom. And this is going to line all 3 of the images together. So what this is doing is it's stacking. It's putting all 3 of these images together. Now, if the pillow's here and the pillow's here, it's not going to be able to work. So what you're doing is clicking auto align to align everything in the images. I have this auto settings, and I'll click this on and off again. So what this auto settings is doing is it's just guesstimating how you want this image to look. So it's auto adjusting the levels and stuff over here to get the most out of the image. Next thing we have is deghosting. So deghosting is for if, let's say, you took a picture and it was a little bit windy and the flower is moving. When you stack these, you would see some ghosting or movement of the flowers. Same thing with clouds. Clouds are moving. If you took the pictures and you did it real slow and the clouds moved, you'll see ghosting. So depending on how much ghosting you have, you can either do low, medium, or high if you have a lot of movement, and it will help remove that ghosting that you see in the images. In this one, I don't think we're really getting it, but I'm just leaving it on low. And then you can create a stack. I'm not a big fan of stacks. It basically puts everything together in a stack in your library. So you only have one image instead of like 3 or 4 or 5 extended out. But for this, I want to be able to see, I want you to see everything. So we're not going to stack the images. If I turn off auto settings, we can see it's removing that. It's just going back to a default, and you can see how dark the shadows are. And with auto settings on, it's able to increase or open up those shadow areas and get a whole lot more detail. I'm going to go ahead and click merge, and it's going to work and go through the process of combining and doing everything that we just told it to do. And we'll be back here in a second. All right, we can see right down here, it has added our new image. This is our HDR image. It should say HDR up here. And it's combined all those images into one image. And you can see over here, remember we clicked those auto settings. These are the adjustments for the auto settings. Now you don't have to leave them like that. So if you wanted to change something, you could simply just come in here and double click or slide and adjust anything that you would want inside of that, just like a normal photo. Now to see the effect of HDR, I'm going to click on our original image and our HDR image. So here is our original capture. And what I really want you to look at is right here in this pillow and then right down here in this dark shadow area. Now I actually kind of like the dark shadow area. It adds a little drama, but HDR is going to give us a whole lot more detail here and here. So I'm going to come over to this HDR image and you're going to see, wow, this pillow and just the detail that it has and the resolution really pops. And we're starting to get a whole lot more detail in the shadow areas and just in general all over our image. And that's basically what HDR is going to give you. Some just unbelievable tonal range and color vibrancy inside of your imagery. So once again, we'll look at the original and the HDR. So you can see the colors are more vibrant, I think a little bit oversaturated. And then you would just simply go in and you could tone this just like any general normal photo. Like I would probably darken this and darken this and darken this. But that is how you get extended range inside of Lightroom by using HDR. If you have any comments or questions, you can leave those below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe.